Are those projects ever gonna come out of the portal and be considered? Probably not. It sounds like we've gotta get on somebody's list.
The portal that you're referring to, I'm guessing is on the MDEQ website, where they solicited ideas for projects. I don't know what they're doing with those projects. My understanding was that they would be put in a hopper with all the projects and that somebody would be vetting those projects. But some of those were restore projects. And restore money is different than the economic damages settlement money. Restore projects, and restore, I don't know what, it's an acronym for some title, but that was a federal act that was passed by Congress. And the money is to fund projects that are properly vetted through the local entity that has been assigned that responsibility, which in Mississippi is MDEQ. So you send a project into MDEQ, they vet it, they make a request, and then the money is drawn down from the federal treasury to fund the project. That's different than the economic damages settlement money that I'm talking about, though the projects, I think, can be similar between restore and the economic damages. Mayor Fillingham.
Yeah, just to follow up on your point about the list of projects and the communities themselves being involved. As you know, the Lieutenant Governor kind of did his tour around the state and around the coast. It's been almost a year ago, and all of the mayors were invited to a particular meeting to talk about that. And basically, we have always been stopped short of, we're not ready to start taking projects yet. We're not ready to start hearing the needs yet. And really, the way that it's been presented to us is the biggest issue right now is really where the money's going to be apportioned to. And if it's going to be appropriated mostly to the coast, then we'll all start very vigorously talking about where we might want to see you step up and help us support some of those things. But anytime, and even included in the MDEQ site that Tish was referring to, it's been a great gray area, of really a great sense of doubt has been put over when and where exactly communities will be able to step up and start saying this is what our needs are. So what we've been reduced to at this point is just trying to make the case at this point that we were the ones damaged. That the coast was the ones that were damaged by all this. And the farther that we get away from the date of that damage, the more the case is being made that it's a state thing, that the money should be spent around the state and not so much in the damaged areas. So we're trying to make the case more than for projects to get our particular percentage of money, and I know that you're working on that too.
That's a very good point. And so I would say I have two comments to that. First of all, that's why I don't think we have the luxury of waiting and kicking this can down the road, because it's more difficult for us to make the case that we've been damaged as a result of this as time goes on. So I'm opposed to waiting at all. I want to do it right now. And the other point is, I know you've been told, keep tapping your toe, keep waiting, but I would go ahead and be talking about the projects you want and be ready. Because when it does move, it's likely to move very quickly, and you don't want to start the process of figuring out what kind of projects you want funded at that point.
And just one follow-up to that, I think everybody heard loud and clear at all of the initial receptions and meetings that we had with the legislature, that they need very much to hear from as many people as they can. We've always been very complacent in past years about making a presence in the Capitol. We've always allowed you guys to represent us, and you've done a phenomenal job at that. I think this year, you need everybody to really physically almost come up and support these things, because that's the only voice they hear, is the ones of the people that they're seeing.
That's another good point. In fact, one thing I think that we ought to do is have a Coast Day at the Capitol. We have a nice reception up there, and it's always the best reception we have, and a lot of folks come up from the coast, and everybody loves it. But I think we ought to fill the Capitol one day and have a press conference in the rotunda of the Capitol with our business leaders and local elected officials talking about the need to get a decision on this and send this money back down to the Gulf Coast. And I think there would be a good response to that.
We'll have to.
Happy to do it. There was another question. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
What's your state bill? What's your number?
Oh gosh.
Sorry.
You know, this might be a good opportunity to, that one hasn't been filed on the system yet, but I will get everybody that number. Excuse me. I've got some copies up here. This might be a good segue into this. I would encourage you, if you have particular interest in education bills or tax bills or BP, to try to follow that piece of legislation through the process. It's really pretty easy. We have a good website. I don't want anybody to leave and say he didn't have anything good to say about the state of Mississippi. We have a good website. And I have provided some copies here that of the page of the website. And I guess I got these all stacked up. And you can follow by looking at, you can go measures by author. If you know I authored it, you can just simply click on my name here. You can also do it